Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. I hope that everyone is having a great day or weekend. NFL Sunday, the first game is over in London. The Jets play the Broncos, and the game starts very early. That's nice. We had football from about 9:30 in the morning until it was time for bed at 11 o'clock at night. That's my kind of day. Thanks to everyone who left a birthday wish in the comments. Yesterday was my 40th birthday, and it was great. We're here. Moving forward, friends, but wait, there's more. We have a great video planned for you. It begins now. There comes a time every few years when the truth comes out. We just had one, a $400 billion hidden in bankruptcy that set off a global financial reset in a quiet way. Now, Ripple has been given the all clear by the central bank. Everything is linking up, the crash, the chaos, and the institution's decision to keep quiet. It's clear when you put it all together, crypto is no longer being turned down by the system. It's getting on board. Now, without further ado, welcome back to the Bullwinkle Blueprint. If you're new here, please click the subscribe button. Make sure you give that thumbs up if you're going to come back for more of that real good information. It's the best way to help the station, and it's free. We can see crypto trying to do the same thing that Sting is trying to do this morning. Yes? XRP is going up to 241. ETH is at 3,836, and Bitcoin is back. It just barely touched 112, ending the day at $111,833 billion. The overall value of all cryptocurrencies in circulation is $3.76 trillion. And we're a long way from that height. I was at about 4.1 to 4.2 trillion, but you know what? We'll get back there. We'll go back there near the end of this movie. Look at the next 3 pages. You'll see why this XRP crash makes us think of 2017 and 2021, while we wait to see how close and identical they are. After that, we'll get here. In Analyst 1, that number shows the real size of the most recent liquidation, which could hit $400 billion. That number is 20 times bigger than the real one. Take that in. In that case, everything will change for sure. The CoinGlass says 19 billion, but Binance's API is slowing it down. We only serve about 5% of what was signed off on. That's interesting, right? That means this wasn't just a correction in the market. It was the biggest leverage flush ever seen. But here's the part that no one is seeing. Before each cycle's next spiraling move, the same thing always takes place. After they sell, clean, and restart the board, the market prices go back up based on real liquidity. If you think crypto is over, please take a moment to relax. We're not destroying anything. It's getting ready. Right before the biggest growths, there are the biggest shakeouts. That's right. Stay positive and stay put, because what's coming up next will make this crash look like a warm-up. Because of what we talked about in my one-on-ones, these are set up so that you will be ready for the next step. You don't have a way out. You don't owe any taxes. At this point, you don't have an LLC ready. What do you know? You're not ready yet. People who make plans now won't have to worry later. The link is below. While we're on the subject of making plans, let's talk about how this whole restart is related to what Vivek just said about Bitcoin and the Federal Reserve. He said that my view of Bitcoin's promise is that it gives people a way to avoid the broken financial system that the US Federal Reserve built. He's right, okay? But here's the catch. His talk about broken design is not talked about by anyone else. A real-time solution is being used to rebuild it. It's not just Bitcoin either. It lets people choose not to, right? Ripple is making the new rails that the system will use. We got Bitcoin. That's your protest. XRP is the answer to a Bitcoin problem. The Fed Ripple is changing the way banks work behind the scenes so they don't have to fight the system anymore. They are the next version of the method. That's why this moment is important. When politicians start to accept crypto as a real choice, the dominoes start to fall quickly. Regulation, adoption, and eventually central bank integration follow. Take a listen to this. Bitcoin holds more potential for me than that, though. It is a way to avoid the broken banking system that the US Federal Reserve System set up. I say this because I want to fight for the dollar to stay the world's prime currency if I become president of the US. There is a funny thing that does happen, though. You can do that in 2 different ways. One is that you try to beat the competition if you're not sure about your own value offering. Anyway, the fact that the government is looking for different kinds of money in this way, including Bitcoin, shows that they aren't sure about their own value. I see it another way. So that people don't just give up on the dollar and go the other way. I think that Bitcoin puts it to the fire to make sure that it can't be manipulated. They should be able to opt out because that's what keeps us on our toes. That's why I was first. I love the idea, the lovely concept. Okay, let's stop there. There's a lot to talk about. We don't have to hit everything. You can go to Next Level Capital and end it if you want to hear it. However, everyone says XRP is dead. I'm really excited to get to this part. Okay, let's look at history. It's true that every big drop, every panic move, and every case made the base and network stronger. Check out what happened with the SEC case. And it began in 2020. We were about to break out and try to hit a new high. We made about $2, but then the price dropped all the way back to 13 cents. After that, we know what took place. We went up over the next few months and years to $3.80. And here at eGrab Crypto, we dropped it pretty smoothly. Let's talk about this. The XRP chart gets better, faster, and stronger every time it drops. It will help you understand what we're talking about if I make the picture bigger. December 2017, I can see it now. 99% drop and a 77% drop after the SEC case in 2021. Our number dropped by 78% this week. The same thing is true for liquidation. COVID crashed for $1.2 billion and FTX crashed for $1.66 billion yesterday. It was like being in a movie during this crash. It won't be tragic if it ever gets made into a movie. It will be the story of how the next bull run began. You did have a choice though. You can give up and live with your regrets, or you can stay strong through the storm and see what happens when the dust settles. The smoke will go away. If that cloud clears tomorrow, I don't know. Tonight we had the weekly close, which is a very important close. What we do next, or whether the smoke clears in January 2026, will depend on it. But one thing I know for sure is that the smoke will clear, and those ETFs will be a big part of that. Prices will go up and up a lot. I'll say it again because I already have. I'll do it twice, 3 times, 4 times. It wasn't 8 years before XRP hit a new all-time high. It was only about 10 cents. No, it's not going to die here and roll over. It looks like the prices you saw were around 85 cents on some sites. They did look crazy on paper, but you weren't getting that price on the market. There wasn't any money down there for you to buy. XRP is still worth between $1 and $2, so I don't think that will happen even in the worst bear markets. That goes too far. Even though institutional money and money from retirement plans are coming in, I still don't think Bitcoin is over. There is still a lot of money I think will be coming into crypto. Everyone, we are going higher, and that's the cherry on top of everything.